Crossing over 4,000 kilometers of steppes in Kazakhstan, this was something we didn't look forward to. We wanted to pass this country as fast as possible, but Kazakhstan was so much more than we ever expected. Colorful mountains and epic off-road adventures. The Kazakh people made it even more special. This is Lewy and the Rover, destination Kazakhstan. This is us. We got married, left our jobs and started traveling in our Land Rover through Greece, Turkey, Armenia and Georgia. And now we'll drive a 4,000 kilometer adventure from Georgia to Kazakhstan to reach our dream destination, Kyrgyzstan. Meet Paul and Lidi, a French overland couple. Together we will transit through Russia and Kazakhstan. We made a plan, woke up early in the morning, and after 6 hours of waiting and paperwork at the border, we drove through the mountains and steppes of Dagestan and Chechnya. Then we crossed the Volga River, and after 2 days of driving, we reached the border of Kazakhstan. Almost there, Central Asia. It feels so strange to be so far from home.
Welcome to Kazakhstan! Woo!
We were all exhausted after driving all those hours. We found a spot in the middle of the steppes and relaxed. Because the upcoming 7 to 8 days would only be driving. 4,000 kilometers of driving. But not on flat and smooth roads, and with temperatures most are considering to be hot. So we enjoyed this moment of tranquility. There we go. Wake up at 6, leave at 7. To beat the heat was our motto. Our days consisted of 6 to 8 hours of driving on really bad roads with no end, setting up camp in the middle of the steppes, trying out new skills,
But we need to do a few
searching for food and water, and if Patrick was really lucky, a can of cola, camping in the middle of nowhere, and leaving at 7 in the morning to avoid the heat. There was one thing on this route we all looked forward to, seeing the legendary Cosmodrome Baikonur from a distance. And then, on day 7, when Patrick almost turned totally crazy, we finally reached Almaty. We rented a big villa where Lidi, Lewy and myself could relax, and the guys did maintenance of the cars. This is Andrei, a drifter from Almaty and a Defender fanatic. He helped out to find the spare parts we needed.
70 meters.
So Polo, what's the problem?
Universal joint.
Really bad, huh?
So this is the problem.
And it all?
Every time the engine sends power, this is moving and create vibration and creaking and everything. So we changed the U-joint. Pop shaft is good.
And all this happened yesterday when we
Talked about it.
and got the oil and all the other shit. All out now, the U-joint, and you see here is totally worn out.
After 3 days of relaxing and maintenance, we were all ready for some new adventures. We said goodbye to Paul and Lidi for now. don't worry, you will see them again in our next video. And we drove to a very beautiful national park. Just as in Georgia, we needed a permit. It was quick and easy. This is Elton Emel National Park. We stocked up on food and fuel, as there are no facilities in the park, and drove to our first destination. The roads got us all shaken up. We camped at the ranger station, the only place where it is allowed to camp. Louis! It was 6 in the morning. The heat was already intense. We hiked up the famous Singing Dunes. After spending 1 hour at the dunes, we drove 100 kilometers to our next stop. This heat! It was 11 in the morning, and already the temperature was above 30 degrees Celsius. We couldn't do anything. It was only in the evening that we started moving. We set up camp in the Actau Mountains and started exploring the canyon when the sun slowly decreased its power. Even though we couldn't do anything the whole day, that last part of golden hour was all worth it.
Red deposit. Kijk hem hier.
We visited the Grand Canyon of Central Asia. Drove down to one of its many riverbeds and left with a special new friendship. Meet this group of overlanders from Kazakhstan who invited us into the Russian sauna.
Ooh, it's hot.
Супер!
Юрий Гагарин, Советский Союз!
It was like a perfect day at the spa.
1, 2, 3, go!
They insisted we stay for lunch. This is one of the most valuable things of overlanding. Making new friends even if you don't speak each other's language. It's all about a common passion. Driving into nature with your 4x4. They also showed Patrick all their hunting gear. And gave us some advice on where to find the best off-road route in Kazakhstan. More on that later.
Yes, you too.
We drove back to the city of Almaty for some more car maintenance. Patrick visited the Land Rover specialist of Kazakhstan. And Louis and myself joined a few days of city life. While we enjoyed the comfort of an apartment, we were ready for some adventure again. We drove back into the mountains where a surprise was waiting for Louis. But he had to sleep one more night. The next morning, he was very curious. This was the surprise. It's Flo! Louis was so excited and happy, he didn't watch where he was going. He was the happiest he had been since we left home. Meet Charlotte, Ken and their dog Flo. Traveling all the way from Belgium to Vietnam, Laos, Thailand and beyond. And they have been a big inspiration to us. One of the few doing this kind of trip with a dog.
Alright, so we're doing an off-road trek. We don't know much about it, but they say it's one of the most beautiful of Kazakhstan. And you can go to an observatory and it's around 3 or 4 days. But we don't know if it's open. And we don't know what the road is, so it's a little bit of guessing, but we're having fun, right?
And even though we had all of these uncertainties, we headed off to what would be quite the adventure.
What's happening? You're afraid?
Don't ask questions, just do it. Yeah.
The road was washed away in many places, and I didn't dare to drive this very tilted part. Patrick made it through. But now the big fort also had to go through. We tried to fill the gap with more rocks, and there they went. We celebrated a bit too soon. Yes, there we go. What we didn't know then is that this wouldn't be the only challenge on this track. The scenery changed into beautiful green hills and we decided to set up camp. Let the dogs play, eat some delicious noodles and reflect on the day.
Sokken van de Adidas. Hey guys. Is it good?
Yeah, very good.
All right.
Well deserved.
Summary of the day. What was the girls' feelings?
Well, a lot of hanging on the side steps. It was good team building.
It was really good team building.
That's true, that's true.
Was it still fun or was it too much?
On the edge. It's always fun when you get out.
True. Okay, but it was still fun.
Yeah, definitely. And now
True? Still fun?
No, I don't know. There's some stressy parts, but yeah, it was okay. It was
Alright.
fun.
Okay, so this is day 2 of our off-road adventure. We still don't know what the route exactly is. We're trying to get up to the observatoria. Let's go!
Another day of adventure. We got the shovels out to make the path a bit wider as it was partly washed away.
Okay, so quite a lot of digging today. But now we made a nice new road. So safety first. We don't want to take any risk, especially here because it's so remote. So I did it first, but it's a little bit tricky. So now we're just taking safety first, right? So Ken, what do you think? What's the plan?
After hours of digging, we were rethinking the plan.
you say so.
I checked the map if there was another path we could take if we would turn around.
We're here, and there's.
Okay.
But the thing is, if we go back, we have to do that one part where I thought, yeah, we were really lucky to make it, and then we have to do it again.
Yeah.
And the ground is already like.
Okay, but then we just dig a bit more and then we safely get out of there. And then...
We're going back and try to find a new route. Or not?
I don't know, I'm already looking forward to just like have a pint of beer and sit somewhere with enjoying the view. But that will take some time, I think.
Patrick turned our little 90 around and used the trench we digged. We went back and found the perfect place to call it a day and set up camp. The tracks are relentless, but the landscapes are beautiful. Day 3. These are definitely the best days of Louis' trip. He had the time of his life playing and running with Flo. We started the day with pancakes for breakfast.
Ah, de Belgische versie. Ja. Want er is een Nederlandse versie.
Ja, ik denk dat daarom iedereen de Belgische versie. Dat is toch die man met...
Louis says, time to go again. A new track with new surprises.
Spring even bij de gat.
Very lucky that we stopped to see how steep the incline was, because otherwise we would never have seen the
ditch.
bridge. And then, yeah, then it would be end of story. So what the fuck?
But even with these stressful moments, we still had the best time together exploring the mountains of Kazakhstan. And then the road became rockier and rockier, which was not a good sign.
Landslide.
Again?
What's the problem? Look behind us.
Yeah, so we drove all the way around because we thought this was an easier route.
Not easy.
And then this extreme shit is coming.
The end. The end is so near.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is completely impossible.
And for the second time, we turned around, did the first difficult part again, and made our way back to the lake.
Yep.
Time for a nice and cozy campfire evening. We've been through all the emotions the past few days, and we couldn't have ended it in a better way with a private concert. We thought Kazakhstan was only boring steppes, but the amazing people, scenery and off-road routes made it one of our favorite destinations ever. Next up, you will see how Kyrgyzstan will literally take our breath away. Thanks again to Socia ICT, Rapid Logistics and Visser for supporting our journey.